everybody, it's Tree here from Epically Triespice, and we are doing our Make It Monday. The winner this week was Shepherds Pie, so that's what we're going to be whipping up for you. One of the great things about the meal solution for Shepherd's Pie is that we can stretch it a little bit further. So because I have a larger family, I'm still only going to use one meal solution, but I'm doubling the potatoes, I'm doubling the vegetables, and I'm doubling the ground beef today. So the recipe says, stir seasoning into 1/4 cup of water. I've just upped it a little bit, up to 1.5 cups. I don't like to thin out the seasoning and thin out the flavor too much. So I'm gonna just stir this a little bit and get it all melded together. And then next we're gonna cube 2 pounds of potatoes. We're gonna microwave it covered on high heat for 8 to 10 minutes. And you can use your round steamer or your multi-purpose steamer for this. But because I'm using 4 potatoes, which is substantially longer, I've decided to cook them on the stove today. So I've gone ahead and done that already. They are done and they are drained, and we're gonna get to mashing them shortly. While the potatoes are cooking, you're gonna brown your 1 pound of beef into the frying pan, and then you're gonna stir in the reserved seasoning mixture while bringing to a boil. All right, so the next step here is we are stirring our reserved seasoning mixture in with the ground beef. So I'm just gonna give it another stir. We are gonna get it all in there. I'm gonna get rid of this item, and I'm gonna grab this guy instead here. So we're just gonna stir all this up here. I've got my 2 pounds of ground beef because, like I said, I doubled the recipe. So it says to bring that to a boil, so I'm just gonna turn the heat up on my stove a little bit. And when it comes to a boil, we're gonna reduce the heat and stir in 2 cups of frozen vegetables. Again, I've doubled the recipe, so I've got 3 cups in my bowl. I have the 4th cup in case I would like it, but for now we're gonna move to the potatoes and get those going. I've decided, just for a little bit of extra flavor, to put a tablespoon of herb and garlic in there, just to give it a little bit more flavor. Everybody loves herb and garlic. And it asks for 1/2 cup of milk. And like I said, I've doubled the recipe, so I've got about 1 cup in there. So I'm gonna mash this up. You can come in and see what it looks like before I get all gross and mashy. So my beef is simmering away. It's starting to come to a boil. And the recommendation on the package is to let it simmer for 2 minutes before we add the vegetables. So my potatoes are all nice and mashed up here. And you can see that nice color of the herb and garlic in those potatoes. Now there's no butter. If you really feel like you want to add butter, you're adding a little bit more fat and a little bit more calorie to the meal. And you're gonna get some really good flavor with the herb and garlic anyways. So we're gonna let everything mix, mingle, and simmer, and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes. I brought my meat mixture to a really nice, good roaring boil here. I'm not sure if you can see it. And all the flavors are coming together nicely. So now it asks me to add the 2 cups of frozen vegetables that I told you about. Again, I started with 3, but I'm definitely gonna add that 4th one, and we're gonna completely double the recipe. Look how good that looks. That'll be really good once the vegetables thaw. So we are heating through. Doesn't give me a time frame, but I'm gonna take a couple of minutes to make sure that my potatoes are nicely mashed and to make sure that the vegetables are nicely heated. Again, my pan is on low. I don't wanna burn anything, but I also don't wanna take an hour to get everything going. So there is that. We're gonna leave that for now. We're gonna have a little try of these potatoes here. Really good. They definitely don't even need the butter. That herb and garlic in there definitely helps give them a little bit of a kick. So I'll be back in a moment once these vegetables are ready to go, and we'll put it all together. All right, so now we are at our last stage. The vegetables have cooked and our potatoes are mashed, and now we are just ready to add it on top. I am not a perfectionist in the kitchen. That is for sure. Alrighty, so doubling the recipe, we have actually guests over today. There are 2 children here today that we don't normally have here. So it's a good idea that we double this recipe. So it'll be enough for the 7 of us for sure. We are also going to pair this with some biscuits that are behind me. They're just a quick biscuit that I made. And we're also going to add some greens to the plate of a Caesar salad. So once that is all done and we have a plate, I will be back and share the final product with you. See you soon. So here we are, plated and ready to eat the Epicure Shepherd's Pie for today's Make It Monday. We've got the shepherd's pie with a nice country biscuit topped with cheese and a Caesar salad for the greens. Like I said, we did go outside the recipe for our shepherd's pie today because we were a family of 7. We made the meal solution work for us, not the other way around. We'll see you next week for our next Make It Monday. Bye.